Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was a bald eagle named Aurora. Aurora the bald eagle loved to enjoy nature while perched up high on an oak tree overlooking the river where she would catch her food. It was a nice area to hang out at, and it was also the place where all the other bald eagles gathered together at sunset to rest and chat about their day and admire the view. Aurora the bald eagle was a graceful eagle who believed it was important to work hard and enjoy the reward of your hard work. And this is something that was normal for most, but not all of the bald eagles thought the same way. Every day, at the end of the day, all the bald eagles in the area would come together on the oak tree while looking over the river and the scenery while talking about their day. And even though Aurora the bald eagle loved to talk about how she tracked down her food and caught it by herself, the other bald eagles didn't have the same story. Most of them talked about how they took their food from another animal. One of the bald eagles said to the others,
"So I followed that raccoon, and I snatched that food away from it, and I looked around to see where it went. Well, that raccoon never saw me coming."
The other bald eagles laughed. Another bald eagle said to the others,
"Well, today, I snatched a trout out of an osprey's talons, and it was looking around like, 'Hey, I caught that first.'"
The bald eagles were laughing at the stories of stealing food from another animal. All the bald eagles on the oak tree were enjoying the stories except for Aurora. Aurora the bald eagle listened quietly while her sharp eyes were scanning the river. She loved her friends, but didn't like their stories. "Why do you always take food from others?" she asked them all. "There are so many fish in the river. We could catch our own any time." The other eagles laughed.
"Why work hard when some other animal can work for you? And then you just take it from their mouth."
One of the bald eagles said to her. Aurora sighed, but didn't argue. She knew it would take more than words to change their ways. The next day, Aurora the bald eagle decided to lead by example. She soared high above the river, her keen eyesight spotting a school of fish glimmering just beneath the surface. With precision and grace, she dove down, her talons slicing through the water, and came up with a wriggling trout. She flew back to the oak tree, proud of her catch. But just as she landed, one of the other bald eagles swooped down and snatched the fish right from her talons.
"Thanks for the meal, Aurora,"
the other bald eagle cackled, flying off to a nearby branch. Aurora the bald eagle was frustrated that the other bald eagle just stole her food. But she took a deep breath, and instead of arguing, she went back to the river and caught another fish. This time, a much bigger fish. Since she always caught her own food, it wasn't that big of a deal to go find another fish for herself. And this time, she flew to a secluded spot, an area where there wasn't any other bald eagles, so she could eat in peace. That evening, the eagles met again on the oak tree. Aurora noticed something interesting. The eagles who spent their day stealing food were arguing with the others over a fish one of them brought over.
"That was my fish,"
one of them screeched.
"No, it was mine. You grabbed it out of my mouth,"
another shouted. The other bald eagles were so used to stealing their food from other animals, they now began to steal from each other. And this started an argument amongst all the bald eagles. As the bickering grew louder, the fish that they were fighting over started wiggling, and it started to wiggle so much, and because all the bald eagles were so focused on arguing with each other, they didn't notice it slipping out of one of their talons. And all the bald eagles could do is watch that fish drop right into the river. The eagle stared in shock as a clever otter quickly snatched it up and swam away. The bald eagles began getting upset at each other, and there was unrest in the oak tree. Some of the eagles were so mad at the others that they didn't even want to speak to each other. Aurora couldn't help but chuckle. Well, that's what happens when you spend your energy taking instead of catching, she said gently. The other bald eagles looked at her, confused.
What do you mean?
One of them asked. Aurora the bald eagle perched on a higher branch. Her voice was calm but firm, and she said to them, "When you steal food, you're not just taking from the animal who worked hard to catch it, you're also robbing yourself of the joy of earning your meal. And now, you're even stealing from each other. Look what it's led to. No one has anything to eat anymore. Now, if you catch your own food, you don't need to steal. And trust me, the food tastes much better because you put in the hard work into catching it. And even if someone steals from you, it's not that big of a deal to go back in the river and catch another fish for yourself." The eagles looked at each other, their heads drooping now with regret. For the first time, they seemed to understand. Over the next few days, Aurora invited her friends to join her on her fishing trips. She showed them how to spot fish from high in the sky, how to dive with precision to get the fish that you want, and how to carry their catch back without dropping it. At first, the other eagles struggled. They all knew how to catch food for themselves, but it's been such a long time since they did it on their own. In the past few weeks and months, all the bald eagles were getting so used to stealing from other animals, they were having a hard time getting back into catching their food on their own. Some bald eagles dove for the water and got nothing. One came back with a soggy stick instead of a fish, and another just ended up tangled in some river reeds. But Aurora the bald eagle encouraged them, and soon enough, they all began to get better. After a few days of learning how to catch their own food again, the bald eagles found themselves not stealing from other animals anymore. Each bald eagle was able to bring up the food they caught to their own area so they could eat the food that they caught. They weren't looking at each other's food to steal anymore because they had their own food already. One evening, as the sun was setting, the oak tree was filled with the sound of happy chatter. The bald eagles shared their stories of not stealing, but of their own fishing adventures. One of the bald eagles said proudly, "I caught the biggest salmon today, and it wasn't from another otter. I caught it myself." Another bald eagle, fluffing its feathers with pride, looked at the rest and said,
"And I caught a fish all by myself for the first time in a long time."
One of the older bald eagles noticed the younger eagle with a small catch, learning for itself of how hard it is to catch its own food. So the older bald eagle offered some of its own catch to the younger eagle, and the bald eagles started to share their food together. Instead of the bald eagles fighting amongst themselves for food that they stole from other animals and each other, they were now sharing their food. Aurora the bald eagle smiled, her heart swelling with joy, and she said to them, "See everyone, isn't it better this way?" The bald eagles all nodded their heads in agreement.
"Yeah, you're right, Aurora,"
one of the bald eagles admitted.
"Catching our own food does feel better. It's hard work, but it's worth it, and it tastes better too."
From that day on, the bald eagles of the oak tree became known for their fishing skills. They no longer stole from other animals, and they grew stronger and more confident with each passing day. And as Aurora perched on the highest branch, She gazed out over the river with a sense of peace in her heart because she knew that she had helped her friends discover a few important things. First, stealing is not okay. Second, hard work can be challenging, but it can also be fun too. And finally, you can share the rewards of your hard work with your friends. And the bald eagle lived happily ever after. The end. The bald eagle is a bird of prey and can be found natively in North America and can be found through most of Canada, Alaska, and throughout the United States and some parts of northern Mexico. It's usually found near large bodies of water that provide food and growth for trees that they can nest in. Bald eagles are opportunistic feeders, but mainly eat fish. They swoop down into the waters with its talons and pick up fish right from the water. Bald eagles are not really bald. The word bald in the name comes from an older meaning of the word white-headed. Bald eagles have white heads and tails, and they have brown bodies and yellow beaks and feet. The bald eagle's wingspan can reach up to 7 feet, and they can fly as fast as 100 miles per hour when diving, and they can cruise in the air at about 40 miles per hour. Bald eagles can soar really high. They could reach up to 10,000 feet up in the air. The bald eagle has a body length of over 40 inches, and a typical wingspan can be over 7 feet wide, and they can weigh up to 14 pounds. Bald eagles can live up to 20 years in the wild, with the oldest one confirmed to be around 38 years old. Bald eagles love living near rivers, lakes, and coasts where they can catch plenty of fish. Bald eagles build huge nests called eyries in tall trees near big bodies of water. Some of these nests are so big they can weigh as much as 2,000 pounds. One of the largest tree nests recorded for a bald eagle was up to 13 feet deep and over 8 feet wide. Bald eagles are known to mate for life and only find a new partner if another one passes away. Females can lay from 1 to 3 eggs a year, and both parents take turns keeping the eggs warm and feeding the chicks. Bald eagles love to eat fish, but they also eat small animals and birds. Bald eagles are known to steal food from other birds and animals. One of the reasons why they're known as opportunistic feeders. They take any opportunity they have to eat. They use their sharp talons and their hooked beaks to grab and tear apart their food. The bald eagle has great eyesight and can be 8 times better than a human's. They can spot a prey from very far away. Bald eagles' talons are super strong. Baby bald eagles are called eaglets. They're born gray and fluffy and don't get their head to become white until they're about 4 or 5 years old. Bald eagles are so persistent that they sometimes drown trying to carry fish that are too heavy. A group of bald eagles can be called a convocation, an army, an eyrie, or a congress. It is illegal to harm or kill a bald eagle in the United States of America. Bald eagles were once endangered, but thanks to conservation efforts, they made a big comeback and are no longer on the endangered species list. The bald eagle is a symbol of the United States of America and is known to be its national bird. Have you seen a real-life bald eagle before? If you have, where did you see it? Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, bye! If your child loves imaginative stories, I'd love to share my picture book, What Else Should I Eat? It's about a girl who's hungry and goes on a whimsical journey through a magical land of food, trying different kinds of food and exploring how they look, taste, feel, and smell. It's a fun way to show kids that eating different kinds of food can be exciting. The book is perfect for ages 3 to 6, and older kids enjoy it too. You can find What Else Should I Eat on Amazon and other online bookstores. Find all the details in the show notes.